intense music there, but it intros us right into the live show, the Eagles Nest Coaches Show with head coach David. Go through the postseason, our postseason, as long as the Eagles keep winning.
Absolutely.
But as soon as that, if that loss occurs prior to the dome, it's over. So we won't have one after the loss. So we're going to enjoy them as we have Yellow Jackets. Not an easy task. Of course, Yellow Jackets, not an easy task. Of course, none of the teams have been an easy task. But the Eagles are coming off a homecoming victory over to my other right.
One of them. He's got a 50-50 shot.
That's right. I got nobody to my left.
He's
That's
out in
right.
the parking lot out there.
He's across the fence on my left. But we've got it being homecoming week. A lot of distractions, but you couldn't tell that there was any distractions with that football team. Friday night.
It was certainly a great atmosphere. No offensive scores. We got down there in the red zone once and didn't score, but then we backed that right up with the big punt return. So special teams, defense, offense, especially, inside the 30 or inside the red zone.
Well, they talk about the three phases of the game, and you got to have all three of them in order to win, and that proved
special teams. And especially in as some of the things that have happened to some of our offensive players. So, but
I know that field goal down in the red zone, but we were able to pin them deep, get the punt, had a short return for that touchdown, and speak on that, maybe for that touchdown, and speak on that, maybe the mistakes. You look at Menard's team, I didn't see
one score could win the game, right? Especially as the game got a little bit older. We were able to, some of that was because of the way that we lost Jake as a punter because he was shaking up a little bit and we didn't want him to punt. And he's been punting pretty good, so we put Branson Buller back there to punt, and he did really well, and he was able to flip the field a couple times, with the style punt that we do. We try to kind of pin them. We don't want to get a run back, and we were able to make Avoyelles drive the field, and not make any mistakes. Sometimes they like to go for it on fourth down. We stopped them several times on fourth down, and then eventually they started punting a little bit, on fourth down. So we got the ball back, and we were able to put drives together to where we could pin them back, and that's a tight game. It ended up being, obviously, a defensive game, 8-0. And then, late in the game, we're just able to make a special teams play because we had them pinned. Mm-hmm. We had them pinned back, and, we were able to stop them like we were stopping them most of the game, and then we got the big run back.
So in the post game, we were kind of going through some of the stats and how even these teams, really were, except for average points scored. Avoyelles came in averaging about 40 points a game. So I'm sure they had no thought process that they were going to leave there with 0 on the school board. But they came in with a 3-3 record, 1-0 in district. The Eagles came into the game hosting it at home, homecoming. You got Avoyelles coming in going, they put us as homecoming?
Absolutely.
Really? But who do you pick, right? You got to pick a home game. You don't want it to be really hot early in September, so take it into October, and you're going to get some good teams that are down there that you bring in. But you guys came into the game 2-4 and 0-1. But it was about as evenly played, because the defense just really stopped the Avoyelles Mustangs. But you had 99 yards by my unofficial stats. Unofficial official, as I used to call it, right?
Official.
99 yards in the first half for Avoyelles, 81 yards for the Eagles. And then it was 100 yards for the Eagles in the second half. And it was, I think, 82 total yards for Avoyelles. 181 yards apiece is what I had for the totals. Did y'all add them all up? Am I close to,
That's close.
to the yardage?
That's close. And T-Sam actually had 102 yards rushing. So
and 75-yard punt return for a touchdown.
45 yards.
It was 45.
45-yard punt return. And he had a long run right before the punt return.
75 sounds a lot better.
Yeah, well, you can say it. That's fine.
45
it was
yards.
all I know is it was big.
It was.
And we were going to have good field position, out of the punt. And that's what we were planning on. We were going to try to score. And, we got down there, right before that. We had a 4th down on about the 5, and we didn't try a field goal. And, people are like, why not? But, we went forward. And,
well, I mean, other than
we had a play.
You had the play. I mean, just the execution wasn't quite there. The snap was bobbled. Timing got off.
Right.
By the time Birch got the ball, he had a guy in his face, had to make a quick throw, but it was there just that far.
Just a little bit off. But, been working on some other things, this week. But we treated the Avoyelles game, and we talked about it during the week, it was a must-win for us. We're back in the thick of the race because you beat Kinder. We beat Kinder. They got a loss, we got a loss, and we beat them.
You got the head-to-head.
We got the head-to-head, and
Avoyelles has one loss now.
Right, and then Oakdale's got to play everybody, so it would be in our favor.
So I was trying to go in and look at Oakdale is 2-5 on the year, and Port Barry's 1-6 and 0-1. Avoyelles is now 1-1 and 3-4, and Oakdale's 2-5. And I thought we were going to get away from that feedback. And I thought I had them down as to where they are, but I think Oakdale's 1-0.
They lost this by, so they're
1-1.
Yeah, Kinder.
Kinder beat them.
Right.
Yeah. So you beat Kinder. Kinder being the only undefeated team in the district, and now everybody's right there at the top, and you got the head-to-head advantage.
Right. And and I know
outside of Oakdale.
Yeah, outside Oakdale, and it's at Kinder. And we've yet to win a road game, so, hopefully law of averages will get one.
Well, and I was looking at, we played Gina. One of our losses was at Gina. They're ranked number 3 in their area. Kinder's number 5, so a win there. Church Point's number 14. That game's coming up in 2 weeks. And then Avoyelles is number 21, and that's a victory. And Oakdale's number 28, I think, and that's all in the other division. And we're sitting at number 24 in the select division, Division 3. So right at the cusp. Right at the line for power rankings. But these important games with Kinder and Church Point coming up,
and they
could throw you up the rankings.
It could throw us up the rankings, but it also could throw them up the rankings, and they're talking about the same things, So they're trying to get up there and get into the playoffs if they're not quite there yet, and they're trying to get a little bit higher so they can get a home game or a really winnable game, something like that. And we're not really saying and fighting for where we want to get in the playoffs. It's a good thing. We were fighting for the district championships, and if we can get the district championship, the power rankings and the playoffs will take care of itself.
That's right. Yeah, they're 3-1 away and 2-1 at home, so they're susceptible at home. 5-2 overall and 1-0 after beating Oakdale right now. And I was looking at theirs. They played Welsh and won that game, an away game, lost to Iota. Now, Iota's usually got a really good football team.
They're a really good team.
And then they crushed Rosevine, which is not the same team as they used to be. And then Eunice was a home victory. And I don't think Eunice is the same ball club as it's been before.
I can tell you Eunice is down.
You called it one of those, didn't you?
Well, I can tell you they're not the same ball team they've been in the past.
You saw them once this year.
I saw.
Yeah. But, they've usually been a really good football team in the past. And then Logansport, they usually got a really good team.
They beat them.
And that was a victory. South Beauregard
is
always a good team.
And they beat Kinder and put up some points on them.
48.
So we've been watching that film because they do a lot of the same things that we do, or a lot of the same things we try to do. They got a running quarterback. They did some different things that we might try. That's about all I'll say. But they put up some offense on them.
They held Oakdale to 13 points. So did we.
They did.
But they scored 42.
They scored. Yep.
But Avoyelles was scoring 40 as well.
Again, right. Avoyelles put 40 up on Buckeye, 46 kind of doing, and that was evident against Avoyelles because I'm going to be honest with you, we like playing against the run, and Avoyelles likes to run, and that's what we do best. We defend the run. And, Kinder's going to try to run it, but they got a really good coaching staff. They're coached really well. They're going to put all kind of formations out there. You know, they don't run a whole bunch of different plays, but they have a lot of different formations. They want to kind of mix you up and get you in bad spots and, you know, get you to do the wrong thing. You know, we've been working on that this week. We're pretty good about being in the right spots at the right time. You know, and we still got a little more work to do. We'll practice tomorrow. And tomorrow, you know, we're out of school right now. It's the fall break. So we'll go to practice early tomorrow and kind of just treat it just like a regular week practice. You know, we're not going to kill them or anything, but we still got some things to do because of all their formations.
So kind of going back to the Wolves game, you know, we had another injury. We've talked about it in weeks past. It seems like we can't get away from it, Coach. And looking at it, you know, we had Jack Roy go down, center. Mm-hmm. What's the status of Jack looking like?
Well, he won't play. You know, he's got a knee injury. He had an MRI today. Nothing's wrong with his ACL or his MCL, but does have I don't know how he might be out for the year. I don't know. We'll just have to wait. Plugging it in and just kind of got to keep going. Jarrett Scalisi will go in there at left tackle, and Hunter Vaughn is going to go center. And we've been working on that a lot this week. You know, and you know, like I said, we'll just put him in and we'll just keep rolling.
Well, we brought after Jack went down. Was it Vaughn that we put in? I don't remember.
No, we put
Hollis.
well, actually, we put
Chapman.
Yeah, Chapman.
You're like, well, I mean, they haven't had practice. You know, I mean, that's a timing thing, and there's a lot of practice that has to be had. You know, last very well this year, so he will be extremely missed.
Get to come back. You know, it's a bad to have the injury hurt like that and they're out. But like I said, we'll plug in and Hunter Vaughn. You know, in that case, you've got to find the best guy who can just center and get the ball to the police out there. He is a freshman. He'll probably go both ways a little bit, but he'll do a good job.
Yeah.
So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back to have more discussions about the game, talk a little bit of offense and defense from the homecoming game, and maybe get Coach's thoughts on the floats, you know, if it was the right pick.
I don't even know who won.
You
do?
You know who won?
No, I don't.
You said it.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
That was just the one I figured that was going to win.
That's who
because
won.
I know who built it.
I guess that's the sophomore class, maybe?
No. 8th grade.
Eighth grade class won.
That was the one I would think would win because I know who built that thing.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And what a big help, you know, they are up in the press box for us.
Absolutely.
To see. Please use them if
for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
To better serve our at Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible. So if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hall. So talk to real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Yeah, so what happened out there?
What did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Lori even... She needed that.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
We're back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for the Eagles Nest Coaches Show with head coach David Perkins, John Wolf, and I'm Tom Bouchie. Thanks for joining us online as well as here live, talking about the game last week, the homecoming game. Big to do. You had a lot of players out there that were on the court, so what happens with that? I mean, it's a 20 minutes and almost took the whole 20 minutes, and they didn't even get a talking to whenever you go in there. I mean,
well, that's the thing on homecoming. You just gotta suspect that it's coming, and we just gotta deal 3 or 4 pretty good with the distractions. A lot of alum was there. It was a great crowd, great environment. My son was in from Norfolk, Virginia, from the Navy.
If they were honoring him not only for his service, but maybe he was watching from up in Virginia or on the ship, but it was good to know that he was there.
Yeah, he was actually there. We had a Perkins reunion the next day, but they all came to the game Friday night, all of my kinfolk from around the country.
Thank God you won.
So they came in, and they were able to get a victory, absolutely. And it was a great game all the way to the very, very end, up for grabs for who was going to win. But I was glad we was able to get the W since he came so far. Him and his wife came in. So it was a good victory for us. And just proud of him and his accomplishments and
Christian
defending our country.
Yep.
Yeah, Christian.
Yep. When you were on the call with me, 2 years ago, we talked about Christian a lot, and he was tuning in. I think one time he was out in the Mediterranean, tuning in on satellite, which was pretty cool because we can see some of that if you go deep into the stats. At 446 of who's watching, how many people from across from the United States. We've had 26 states in the past that have watched. I think we're up to about 10, this year that have tuned in. Paul Hood normally tunes in. He tunes into some of these shows as well. But good crowds that are tuning in. So it's great to have this opportunity, and been wonderful to be able to bring it to everybody.
Except from Oakdale.
Oh, I'm glad.
Of all the people to bring it up, he brings it up.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, we got to be entertaining, right?
I'm glad you brought that up. We talked about that in the pregame last week. On
we
Friday,
said we were done, and he does that.
That we were able to show the game live from our own home and not worried about the gate. And the gate was really big.
It was.
Of course,
didn't affect it, did it?
Didn't affect it a bit.
The 50-year-olds, the 40-year reunions, the 30-year reunions, they were all out there. And I want you to talk about the special presentation that was done at the end of the first quarter. Some of the alumni,
we call them distinguished
alumni. But before you do that, Justin Reed is the head coach of Kinder, and Julie Burkholt, I think is her name. And I've left messages with the principal through the receptionist there, and they've been great. And guess what? We will be filming live from Kinder on top of the press box, so we can bring in a table and chairs. And he said we can have the top of the press box if we want. And it's supposed to be a beautiful night, so we're going to be live at the top of the press box showing the Kinder. So if any of the Kinder Yellow Jackets are tuning into this show, go out there and support your team, and then you can go back and watch this. I've told them all about 446. They're excited to have us, and it's just wonderful to have principals and coaches that are all for the opportunity to be able to spotlight their kids and their school.
And they can go back and watch with the live play-by-play. What's greater than that?
That's right. And it might be okay. I mean,
it'll be fine.
John does a great job. Every once in a while, I find a nugget, right?
Yeah.
A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, right?
I'm not commenting on any of this Oakdale stuff. I had a good one. I almost said it, but no, I'm not going to.
But so
You're gonna leave
anyway,
it alone.
I am grateful to them. And again, I do take responsibility for not reaching out to the principal and the coach at Oakdale.
It's all good.
But we still like making some fun.
We do.
Having some fun with it.
We
I mean,
do.
you got to laugh at yourself, right?
We do.
Hopefully they're laughing too.
They are.
I
they
doubt
are.
it.
But getting back to the at homecoming, the distinguished alumni we had there. We honored 4 of them, and they're were the older ones. And don't make me say all their names, but I know Sister CC was one of them, and she was a great mentor of mine. She taught me chemistry. She taught she taught a lot of students chemistry at Menard. And she actually, my mother was a beautician, hairdresser, and she actually did Sister Cece's hair. And she would come like early, like on a Monday morning, and get her hair done. And then guess who had to ride to school with her before he got his license? Me. So I rode with Sister Cece every Monday morning till I got my license at Menard.
Bet you didn't act up.
But but she was a good teacher, a good mentor to me.
She was great.
But
she had a sister who was principal.
Yeah, Sister Virginia Lee was principal at Prom Sucker, and they just put in many hours for Menard and Prom Sucker, and they were also nurses, and they did a lot of that at Cabrini. And just they were farmers' daughters, and they still did that during the summers. I remember picking purple hull peas out there at their pea patch when I was growing up. And so it was great to honor those particular alums. That was the first time we've done distinguished alum, and we picked those 4 to be the first one. So it was great. And so, and all their people got to come and see and hear about them. And we had things before the game that we had for them that one of them gave a talk to the student body. He works for Exxon Mobil.
Yeah.
We had an
executive. We had an astronaut with Apollo 8.
Well, and they actually got to hear some of that.
Or maybe it wasn't an astronaut.
He wasn't an astronaut, but he worked
NASA.
on Apollo 8 and Apollo 11, and we were able to hear some of that audio of Apollo 8 that he, helped. They were able to go and orbit the moon. So, so we've had some really good alums who have gone on to have like really great jobs and do great things. So. We're going to lean on them a little bit.
We celebrated 50 years last year in my class, a class of 83, and Debbie Vordermark is working for NASA. Got plenty of people to choose from when it comes to distinguished alums. So hopefully that will continue on. The one thing I would state, though, is that you got to, after it's all done, you got to really learn how, not Chris, but whoever's out there has to learn how to usher them off the field.
Because I heard about that. we talked about that in our administrative meeting, and our Laura Davis, who's our assistant principal, said we were playing and they were still on the field.
Y'all were down. We were down on the other side of the field, and I was like, man, I hope they don't break one. It's gonna be trouble.
Laura ought to know better than that by now, right?
No, she should know.
Yeah,
she should know. It's probably why she recognized you. She said, you might want to get off the field.
Reminiscent of the Cal band on the field. I think was it BYU that ran a touchdown back or something. And they were running through the Cal band and knocking them on the ground to score the touchdown.
Scored a touchdown. And I told the refs, what was going to happen. I guess they were like, that would help.
And give them a cue.
That would help. But, remember, so October is our month, and we had a lot of road games here, so that is just a date that we picked. And that's how we pick
happened
it.
to be the one home game.
It could, you know, if we got a number 1 team in the state pick for week 6, 7, or 8, something like that, where we're having homecoming, we're just having homecoming that week. It's not because of the team we're playing.
Yeah.
And, you know, back in like my old days, you would try to pick a team
that you could
that
thought you could win.
You know, but it's a little harder these days to do that, especially if you're having it during the district season.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So talk a little bit about the offense. You know, obviously we're going to look to score some points this week against Kinder. And we'll get into the defense as well. But the defense has been playing lights out. I tell you, every game we've played, the defense has given the team a chance to win in the 3 losses that we have.
Absolutely.
And our 4 losses that we have, right? 3 and 4.
Yeah, Gina got away from us.
Yeah, that's true. That's a different caliber team, though.
Absolutely is. And, you know, we had it happen early. And
you know, you had to tool around with the offense, and maybe things that worked well 2 weeks ago, maybe keep those installed in it and last week, and yet still making changes. Are you seeing the kids adapting to that pretty well?
They are, you know, and they're getting the plays in, and we're getting them off really a lot quicker than we are. We still want to run the clock a little bit because we want to eat it up some and drive. But I think we are absolutely getting better. But, you know, like I said, we've got 2 guys who are our main runners besides Jake who are playing defense at positions where they got to run a lot every play. You know, so they're running a whole lot, you know, and they're both playing special teams. So, but we're going to just keep grinding. You know, our special teams and our defense has to help our offense score. So we got to have good field position, you know, and get some turnovers. Maybe get some turnovers in Kinder's territory and have a short field. You know, any of those type things can happen, you know, and special teams is big for us, and we'll use that to our advantage, and we'll try to use our defense to our advantage and get some points.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say on offense, I've noticed, you know, in the past couple of weeks, it seems like the offense is improving. You had the drives against the Bulls. You had some really good sustained drives. You know, we took the ball over deep in our own territory, but you're able to get some sustained drives, flip that field position. And you look at the yardage that the offense has, obviously there's improvement there. And, you know, what I see a lot better blocking up front than we did week 1, week
Absolutely.
2, week 3.
No
I see more hats being on a hat. More guys are executing the blocks. It looks like the execution to me up front is better than what it was the first 2 or 3 weeks of this season.
Talk about that, David. I mean, in terms of maybe the reasoning why. Is it communication because Lane Evans went down in the very first, first part of that Gina game? Or not? Yeah,
he did. It's Gina game.
And he was a big communicator on the line. Now you got Jack going down, but yet still we're hats on hats. So I mean, there's a comfort level that's happening right now on the line.
Well, going into the season, that was the one thing we had a lot of were linemen, you know, and we had a good JV. It's always you're going against the number 1s constantly, and that makes them better also. So with Ben Good, Asher Davis, and even Jarrett Scalisi out there. So these offensive linemen go against that every single day. Changed a little bit and then simplified a little bit, and they've picked it up very, very well. You know, we're down blocking a lot. You know, just down block. And we've talked about that this week. You know, we want our running backs to be a little bit better blockers too. And then I think every week since we've started a new one, we've gotten a little bit better. Of course, we haven't scored, and everybody says they still can't score. Well, but it's a process. Mm-hmm. And hopefully this week, against a really good team. Hopefully we can,
As a good ball club. And it really kind of shocking. It's such a small town.
It is.
Where do they get all the athletes? I used to call on them in pharmaceutical. I go down there. They had one of the smartest doctors that I bet you he was probably 40 years or 50 years when I was calling on him. But, they have the pharmaceutical books. I mean, these huge blue binders that are about that thick and that tall. And, he could tell you everything about every product that was in there. I mean, I'd forget to sell what I had just sitting in there visiting with Dr. Storr. And then we have a local doctor, Dr. Buck, who grew up in Kinder and actually practiced there, Dr. Michael Buck. So, but somehow they come up with athletes in that town that's smaller than Pineville.
There's a relationship, Dr. Buck and Menard football. Do you know it?
I knew something about it, but tell me. Yes.
Hollis Chapman's grandfather.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember him telling me that last year.
But, that's all across Louisiana, small towns. Look at Manny. Look what they've done. Small town, state championships, Gina.
They got NIL money, though.
Yeah, they do. But, that's the beauty of high school football is those small towns, and a lot of them, they kind of.
They have a great atmosphere too, man.
Absolutely,
and they scare me every time we were in the press box up there. I thought the press box was going to fall when they shoot off the fireworks, and they put it right behind the visiting stands.
They do.
And then the Harleys revving up. I mean, great atmosphere. Gina had a great atmosphere as well.
They do.
But you're right. I mean, Friday night football.
And it's great to play in those atmospheres too.
Well, I'm excited to see what Kinder has to offer, on the road. Down there, and then we're on the road at Church Point too.
No, we're home the last
home
two.
too.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Two home games to end the season.
Well, that'll be nice.
Absolutely,
that'll be nice. But 3 teams that we've never seen before.
Yep.
That will get to play. Speaking of the offensive line, and you were talking about the improvements that they had. We of course do an Express Pros Lineman of the Week, and there it is, right there. Express Employment Professionals Lineman of the Week. You had one job. They still have us saying that. But they did the one job well. But it's always the coaches, after you kind of grade the film and look at it and everything. And so who are we going with this week for the Lineman Express Employment Professionals Lineman of the Week?
Lineman of the Week. We're going to give it this week to Cade Tassan.
There you go.
Tassan Jr., offensive guard, has been playing most of the year. And, Cade is a valuable asset to our offensive lineman because he knows exactly what everybody should be doing, So he's a really smart lineman. And, with offensive linemen, typically are your smartest guys, because they got a lot to know and learn and a lot of things they got to do when the defense is shifting, who to block, and they've been taught certain things that they've got to. Man, I don't even have an offensive line coach. Man, he's got so much things to do and teach, and it's a hard teaching to do for offensive linemen because sometimes on a certain play you may block this guy, but you may run the same play, but he's in a little different spot, so you might not be blocking him. You might have to block another guy. And Cade's really good at knowing what everybody's supposed to be doing, and he's going to communicate that to him also. So we'll say Cade this week.
Yeah, you talked about earlier in the year with Lane Evans. It's almost like having that other coach on the field, and in the line in the trenches, you need that guy. You need that person that understands that play that's about to be run and can explain those concepts to the other lineman and point things out, like you said, when the defense shifts or they give you a new look. Somebody to point something out and make a call, a certain blocking call. So.
And Cade understands why we want to block it a certain way. That kind of thing is hard to get over to these young high school guys too. But he understands that. And you can tell that Cade watches football and sees it on TV, and he understands it.
Yep.
That's number 71, Cade Tassan.
Junior.
Junior, if I'm not mistaken, his dad is here.
His dad and his brother.
His little brother's here.
His brother plays on the junior high
But Cade's
team.
not here.
Yeah, Cade's not here.
But
they are. They're representing.
If Cade's listening, this was the first week that you had to be present for a $20 gift certificate for Express
We got Pierce
Pros.
over there. He'll take it.
I'm just kidding.
I know
There's
you
no
are.
$20
I
gift
know you
certificate. So right.
Robert, his dad, also coaches on junior high.
He coaches junior high, yeah, absolutely.
So the other thing we have, let me see if I can find it and pull it up. Our Southern Air Cool Play of the Game.
Ooh, that's going to be hard.
Yeah. We searched long and hard throughout. We watched the game 3 times, John.
Yeah.
To find the play.
I don't know.
Did y'all find it?
And, 3 times we watched that, and I still said it was 75 yards, but it was 45. 45-yard punt return by $7 tip T. Sam Brocado.
Right over there.
Yeah.
Wave at T. Sam.
He's here tonight. By the way, there's a $7 gift certificate for.
And his dad's right there beside him. He's one of our coaches also. And his sister's here too. She's right there too. They got 3 picadas right there.
We'll throw that camera out there just to show. There they are, right there.
Yo, wait.
Everybody at the table.
There
He is. Now, we had to search long and hard as well to come up with the Security Sporting Goods Player of the Game, and it again off the same play. Not only that, but his defensive play, his offensive play, he was all over the place. But the big play, the punt return, 45 yards for a touchdown, was exactly what the doctor ordered.
Absolutely. We practiced special teams a lot, and we formed a little wall there on the sideline, so we had some really good key blocks. T-Sam was able to dodge a couple of Vols guys right as he caught the ball. Actually, he got it on the bounce. And
he had to tiptoe it a little bit.
He kind of juked him a little bit, and he got right down the sideline, got a little wall right there, and he was able to make a little movement about the 10. And
I think some of those guys are like, that dude's got a little bit of speed, man.
He does, and that's late in the fourth
surprise.
quarter. So, absolutely, and so that was a really good play for us.
I mean, you're right. Late in the fourth quarter, after all the running he's done all game, and then just the Energizer Bunny out there, in terms of
He also had 15 tackles on the game. So 102 yards rushing, 15 tackles, and ran back a punt.
Weeks-like.
Almost weeks-like.
Yeah.
Almost. Not quite, but almost.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So our Security Sporting Goods Player of the Game is $7 tip, T-Sam Bricata. That's something he told us. It doesn't matter where he eats, it's a $7 tip.
Know what's coming.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back right after these messages. Having a good time at Buffalo Wild Wings live out here. You still got 15 minutes to come out and join us and order yourself a libation or some Diet Cokes or soft drinks. Pepsi. There you go. We're back with more right after this.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier. Transactions are getting safer. And you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use. Anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever.
At Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible. So if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in the state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hall. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Aerators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call...
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and give us a call. We handle projects.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any
I won't say that.
All right, and we're back live at Buffalo Wild Wings, and this is the time we come in and talk about our senior, one of the outside linebackers and one of the key players on the defense that has been really the backbone of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hunter, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here with us, and a great season you guys are having so far.
Yes, sir.
He also plays outside linebacker was, where he played most of his career. And we'll throw him down there. He did this past week, but he'll be playing safety this week, and we kind of can move Hunter around, wherever we want. He's a very physical player, so he can bring his pads. And on our type of defense, that's what we want. We want to be physical, so we know he can do that. So you'll be seeing him.
That kind of gets floated around. In fact, it was last week, I think Carson was talking about having to play corner and safety and moving around, but then you throw in linebacker in there as well. Yes, talk about, the difficulty, or has it just come easy to try to fit into each one of those spots when called upon?
It's pretty easy. Coaches tell me what to do each week during practice, and I just try to play physical and do what they tell me to do.
Talk about football. How long have you been playing, and is it the only sport that you play, or do you got multiple sports at Menard?
Well, I've been playing football and baseball since 7th grade at Menard. Yes, sir.
So getting ready for baseball season as well, but
yes, sir.
Got to get through this one, and hopefully it goes several more weeks.
Yes, sir.
Do you even think about what it was like back as a freshman and now
I do. I never started freshman to junior year. I just started playing this year, and it's different playing and then going through freshman through junior not playing and then starting my senior year.
So, Hunter, I got to ask you, you talking about outside linebacker, free safety position, two different positions.
Yes,
you
sir.
said you like to play physical. Which one you like better? And why?
I like free safety better because
I think he likes free safety better because he's further away from the line of scrimmage, so he can get a run start.
You get a run start. Lay the wood, huh?
Because he'll come and he'll lay the wood on you,
Yep.
So, but we depend on our free safety and our strong safety to be involved in the running game. So those guys got to be coming downhill,
Yep.
and I don't mean trying to make tackles 6-7 yards down the field. We want them getting down there by the line of scrimmage and making hits down there, and that's the way.
This last game, him and Jacob.
With not too many free safeties can come down and play an outside linebacker and do what we're going to be, and they just did it over and over and over and over, and they did a great job, and that's one of the reasons why we won.
Yeah.
And you can see him; he's not 100 and what? How much you weigh? 150.
150.
So I mean, you're a 150-pound guy coming down and hitting you like he does. He's bringing it.
150 pounds of attitude, though.
Absolutely.
That's right. What are you keying on? I mean, when you play a team like a Bulls, I mean, they did that wing tee, at times and trying to hide the ball. And, in the past they were much better at it than they were, I would say, this year. But you're coming down full speed and trying to key on certain things. I mean, what was it in this game?
I'm keying off the wing back that's on my side. If he blocks down on me, I'm going to edge set. If he goes up the field,
or hoping somebody's in front of you to take him out.
Yeah, mainly stop him in the backfield, just create a bunch of bodies so their fullback couldn't get through the C gap right there.
That's our style of defense. We want our linebackers to go make plays. And so they were just taking them. And what it does, it creates just a big wash. Like it's just a whole bunch of body speed. And that's what we try to do, and that's what we did.
And then they got to make a decision which way are they going to go. They can't get the foot in the ground to cut up field.
And then Hunter and Jacob they're fast enough that if they bounce it or if they're still there, they're fast enough to react and go and get those guys. And you can see like late in the game, you remember, and we got them out of their offense because they were struggling, so they were trying other things. and we got the center. They centered it over his head, and Hunter actually made the tackle on about the one. We did get a penalty on the play. I was questionable. Of course, I was hollering because we didn't get the same call. But you can see that showed his speed, but it also showed his physicalness because, I mean, he took that dude down. It was close to being a safety if he wouldn't have got the penalty, but it just shows, what he can do in his athleticism.
Talk about the preparation, that you go through in order to get yourself ready, not only during the week but game day.
It's mainly Coach Don in the weight room every day before practice. A lot of teams, they stop working out and they really lose most of their strength. And I guess it just gives us all an edge on our opponents. But, yeah, just working out through the week and just really getting locked in before the game. I don't have any, pre-game ritual or anything.
No?
Yeah, I just go out there and give it my best. No
superstitions to have to go through and do the same thing over and over every Friday?
No, sir.
So he's got to kind of switch gears, from what he had to do against the Vols to what he's going to have to do against Kinder. So he's going to be more in space this week.
Well,
so he really – okay, his job against Vols was tough, physical, just get down there and grind it. This week he's going to have to be out in space, so he's going to have a lot of other things he's got to look at, and he's going to have to defend the pass because, they're going to want to pass the ball a little bit.
So the opportunity, you talked about, your freshman, sophomore, junior year, you weren't starting, maybe getting in and playing a little bit, but now it's a whole thrust into a starting position as a senior.
Yes, sir.
And being a senior, you got a bunch of young kids. I mean, this is a young football team, and I ask this of every senior. Obviously, kids look up to the seniors, and is that something you think about on a daily basis as to how you handle yourself? Because they look at you and whatever you're doing, they're going to go, if Hunter can do it, we can do it.
Well, yeah, especially at football when, a bunch of freshmen messing around or something, I'll say something to them. But I try to set a good example for them.
And I think all of our seniors do. In our locker room, our seniors are kind of separated. Their lockers are a little bit separated from the rest of the guys. So their lockers are there, and all the rest of them are back here, So we want our seniors to be recognized, and we want them to be able to lead. And most of these guys, they're not real verbal guys. They mostly lead by example in the way they play on the field and the way they practice. So that's how Menard guys usually are leading, just by that.
That's the example, yeah.
And that's the way, and just by the way they play. And when you play real physical, other guys see that, and they got to anticipate that's how they got to play whenever they get to be a little bit older, or when they're playing JV games. We want them to play the same exact way. We understand that the seniors have a little more ability, but we understand too that these young guys are going to get there someday, and that's going to be the guys we're going to have to go with.
Well, you play baseball too.
Yes, sir.
Telling us from 7th grade on.
Yes, sir.
Once football season ends, you're going to start going out. Are you doing any preparation now for baseball, or is it just all football right now, or can you fit baseball in a little bit?
It's mainly all football right now. I really haven't had any time to work on baseball, but we get a week off after football to transition into baseball, and that's usually when I start hitting the batting cages or doing baseball-related workouts.
So the last 2 years have been great runs by the Eagle baseball team. I mean,
yes, sir.
The finals 2 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And then went deep into the playoffs last year as well.
Semis, yep.
Yeah, so give us a little insight to the team this year. How many seniors? What are your expectations? Out of the team this year?
Well, there's a whole bunch of freshmen on the team. There's not that many seniors.
Six seniors,
yeah, on the baseball team. It's just a really new team with new coaches. I don't know. I really'd have to see, when we start practicing again, if what we could do this year, because we basically lost all our starters. All our starters are seniors, and they're gone now. So we basically rebuilding the team, seeing who's going to start this year, seeing who's not going to start.
I could kind of say the same thing for Coach Marks in baseball as we did during football. There's a lot of positions open for competition, and it certainly is in baseball. You know, like he said, a lot of those seniors he's talking about played football.
Right.
You know, almost all of them. They played football and started in football, and so we had the same situation in football, and they're going to have the same situation in baseball.
Yeah.
So they're going to have
Cooper,
to work for
Drake, you name it. You know, all the guys. What position do you play baseball? And are you kind of the, do it all, jack of all trades, or hunter of all trades on the baseball team too?
Yes, sir. I sometimes play right field or I'll play second base, and then I'll pitch sometimes.
Okay. Which one you like better?
Pitching.
So who do you got in the audience with you?
Introduce them.
That's my mom right there in the black shirt. And then that's Mr. Justin, my stepdad. In the
There you go.
And that's my girlfriend, Isabella, right there.
Yeah, we got a little camera so we can actually see him and see him waving. welcome, and thanks for coming out tonight. Tell us a little bit about what you want to do after high school. I mean, you're not far away from graduation.
No, sir. I'm probably going to go to CLTCC and be an electrician.
What's that, John?
No, I was saying camera.
Oh,
Maybe back
yeah.
on Hunter.
We'll bring it back. So, that, great vocation. Don't have enough electricians, don't have enough plumbers. Handyman Dave Rose doing a great job out there on a national level trying to get people to think about those jobs. I mean, you come out and the salaries that you can make, as an electrician, and then go get that the study and get the certificates, because not a whole lot of electricians can get the highest certificate that you need in order to do a lot of work. So
we were talking about work ethic earlier, and you talked about a business you got with another buddy at Menard, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
We started it 2 summers ago.
You and
Hunter Ron. We started it 2 summers ago.
Hunter.
Yeah.
It was at first. It was a pressure washing. Like, we did pressure washing, and then we did that in the winter. We couldn't really cut grass, and then we started cutting grass, and that's when we started making a lot of money.
Yeah, shoot, man, we've got a couple of guys from church that do ours, Proscapes LLC, out there. I mean, just so many people. I did that in 8th grade and 7th and 8th grade and into high school, and then other odd-end jobs just to be able to pay to go to Menard. Yes, but there's some good money to be made in that.
Yeah, I love the hustle.
Yeah.
I see it in a young guy.
See, that's what I
just
think
see the
about.
hustle, man.
Think about that.
Hustle will get you so far. in this
Doing
world.
that, playing and practicing, and playing sports,
And
and
I'm
then trying to stay with your classwork, and then working out the schedule. How do you get the yards cut? That's a lot of work on the weekends.
And, I laugh about it right now, but, Hunter, and like you said, they're hustling. Him and Hunter, they always hustling. And I'm like, during the summer, sometimes like, where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? They're working. And they're just, but, it's great. You're right, because you don't see that a lot. No. And he'll do great in his vocation and being an electrician, because he's got that work ethic, and that's what it takes, and he's got it.
So y'all had a good time at homecoming and the dance?
Yes, sir. It was fun.
Now, you're really laid back. And I would think that in the locker room you're probably the same way, not a rah-rah type of guy in the locker room, huh?
Not really.
That's how he is, right
so
there.
It's like E.F.
just
Hutton.
waiting to play.
E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
He do.
So when you do listen up. So were you cutting the rug on the dance floor? I mean, do you kind of go crazy on the dance floor, or are you more laid back?
I'll dance sometimes here and there, but
when your girlfriend makes you.
Let's see what she says.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't like dancing.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got it made then.
She's your out. Yeah.
My wife always loved to dance, and I was like, no. So I had to get out there and do it. But anyway, hey, look, any final words for folks out there?
Just watch us on Friday. See us beat Kinder.
Atta boy.
There you go. Good luck, Hunter. Thanks for joining us. Stick around with us, because we're past the 8 o'clock hour, and we're going to wrap it up right here. David, Hunter said it. Looking for a victory Friday night. Absolutely. We've talked a lot about Kinder in the first go-around, but what do you expect to see out of them?
Well, you're going to see a very well-coached team, so we're going to have to be on our toes. We're going to have to have no mistakes, no turnovers, no penalties. We're going to have to generate some turnovers, hopefully down there in their territory. It's going to be a tough game, but we got a tough team. I like my guys, and I like what we have, and we're going to go down south Friday night, and we're going to give them hell.
John?
Yeah, I think if Menard comes out and plays like they did last week, play sound football, intense football, bring the physicality, and play a game where they don't have the mistakes like they did Friday night, where we didn't play, with a lot of mistakes, they'll be in this game.
Hunter, when you're not, obviously the offense is out there, and then you're running out whenever they're coming back. But is there any a time at all if they're struggling? Are you over there trying to give them encouragement or speaking to some of the guys?
Like when they come back on the sidelines, like when they get a water break or a
So, I mean, if it plays out like it's played out all year, look for the defense, Hunter Vaughn, Hunter Branch, and everybody else on the defense, T-Sam, you name it, whoever, everybody that's out there, Carson, look for them to keep the Eagles in the ball game against a strong Kinder Yellow Jackets team. And then if we can just get a couple of scores, and we know that the special teams can come through as well, since that's how we won the game this past week with the 45-yard punt return for a touchdown. But just expect a good game. We look forward to it. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. Pregame starts at 6:35. John will be on the field with Coach Perkins doing the pregame interview at 6:40. So join us live, 446 Sports. We'll put the link out like we do before the coaches show and before the game. So when you see the link and you say, and I say, hey, we're minutes away, just click on that link and it'll pull up the game. Do you guys watch, like, after the game's over, go back and watch any of it?
We watch film on it, yes, sir.
All right.
On Huddle.
Appreciate you being with us, Hunter. Final word, John.
No, looking forward to a good game Friday night, man.
All right. And before you say your final word, everybody have a great weekend. Go Tigers. Take the Aggies.
Yes.
And I can say that because my son-in-law is an Aggie and his whole family. So that was the only thing that was a little sketchy when Katie told us that she wanted to marry the guy. But no, great family. We love them. But
does he know how to tie his shoes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to be a really good doctor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hoping he'll take care of me.
But he still knows how to tie his shoes.
He knows how to tie shoes, yeah. So anyway, go Tigers, go Eagles. Everybody have a blessed night and a blessed weekend. David, final word.
Go Eagles.
All right, God bless everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Good job.